This is your weekly moment of growth. Being an entrepreneur is extremely stressful at times. Yes, it's really, really rewarding, but there's times that it becomes very overwhelming and stressful. Hell, life in general is stressful. So even if you're listening to this and you're not an entrepreneur and you're feeling stressed, I wanted to share with you guys 5 things that I do when I'm feeling overwhelmed, when I feel like the stress is building up. Because what happens is if I don't do these things, I become paralyzed. I don't take action. Nothing is moving in the right direction. So we have to make sure that we check ourselves and we do these 5 things to help relieve stress. Now, before we get into the 5 things, I want to make sure that you guys understand you don't always just have to go and do these 5 things. Sometimes it's just one of them. Sometimes, the first step might help you, or sometimes you got to jump to the 4th one. So these just happen to be the 5 things that I do at any given time when I'm feeling overwhelmed. So the first thing that I do is I stop and I breathe. My good friend Bruce Langford, who is a mindfulness expert, he's a host of the show Mindfulness Mode. He's been a guest on my show. I've been a guest on his. Taught me this technique when I was having a little bit of stress right before I went and spoke on stage. And so what you guys want to do is you want to breathe in through your nose until your lungs are full, and you want to hold it there for 2, 3, 4 seconds, and then you let it out. And you do this as many times as needed, and you'll start to feel your shoulders relax, your heart rate will slow down, and you'll really begin to be in the moment and realize you absolutely have control. So number 1 is breathe. Number 2, take action. Part of the reason we feel stress is because we feel like life is out of control, like we have no control over what's happening to us. And yes, it's true, we can't always control the things that are happening, but we can control the things that we do. So specifically as an entrepreneur, if I begin to take action towards my goals, start to reach out to potential clients, start to build relationships, record podcast episodes, start to take action to help build my business, the stress of the things I'm not controlling starts to alleviate because I realize that I'm in complete control of my growth, my goals, and everything I'm trying to accomplish. So number 1, breathe. Number 2, take action. Number 3, move your body. When the stress and the overwhelm begin to pile up for us, we want to curl into a ball and not move. We want to stay in bed for a couple more hours. We want to just lay on the floor and not deal with the world and deal with the things that are pressuring us. But what I found was if we just get up and begin to move our bodies, whether that's, working out or just going outside and taking a walk, and really force your body to really move, to get your blood pumping, to feed your soul, you must move your body. And once you begin to do that, everything else seems to alleviate a little bit in our heads, right? Number 4, reach out to a mentor, a friend, or anybody who is there to support you in all aspects. So when I'm feeling stressed and overwhelmed about my business, I reach out to some amazing people like Justin Cavanaugh, who's one of the speakers at Growth Now Movement Live. He's become a great friend of mine and somebody I can really lean on. He's really good at listening to me when I feel like I need to vent about some BS that's happening in my life. But then he also gives constructive criticism. He gives me action steps that I can take. So when you can reach out to and lean on a mentor or a friend to be that type of person for you, it truly helps alleviate the stress because that person can push you in a forward momentum. As if you guys notice in all of these steps, it's about movement. It's about not allowing the stress to stop you, and it's about moving forward. So number 1, breathe. Number 2, take action. 3, move your body. Number 4, reach out to a mentor. And number 5 is give. Give unconditionally. Sometimes stress builds up when we feel like we have nothing to give the world, when we feel like we're at our rock bottom moments, when we feel like there's no hope in the things that I'm doing to be successful. That's when you give. You give unconditionally when you feel like you have nothing to give. I'll share a story with you guys. There was a time where I was unemployed. My business that I was trying to build was not growing. I had almost no money and no guarantee of any money coming in. And I was walking down the street, and there's a homeless man on the side of the road. And I had $20 in my pocket, and I gave him my $20. The universe then repaid me back. And I know Tony Robbins has a similar story, but this was a moment where I made a massive decision to realize that I have opportunity. I have hope. And not everybody has that. There are people that are much worse off. So give. Whatever that is, just give. And when you are giving, the world will give you back. And I promise you, when the universe starts to repay you, the stress is less and less, and the overwhelm becomes so minimal that you can continue to move forward. I hope these 5 steps were something you guys can take away from and learn and start to implement in those days where you do feel overwhelmed and stressed. Look, it's a normal part of our lives to feel that way, but we have to take control of those feelings and not allow them to control us. I appreciate you guys spending the last couple minutes with me. I'll see you next week.